Welcome back to the channel. Today we're exploring the steel wheat penny and classic Lincoln pennies, two coins with stories every collector loves. The steel penny, made in 1943 during wartime, is unlike any other US cent, while wheat pennies carry decades of history and collector appeal. Some rare editions and mint errors from both types have sold for incredible prices, making them treasures in the world of coins. First up, the 1940 for Abraham Lincoln steel wheat penny with a large date and the S mint mark from the San Francisco Mint in fully rusty condition is one of the most mysterious and highly prized coins in the entire history of American numismatics. This coin should not even exist under normal circumstances because in 1940 for the United States Mint officially returned to using copper alloys for striking cents. The steel composition had been used only in 1943 when copper was urgently needed for the war effort. In 1940 for the mints switched back to bronze using recycled shell casings, and yet a very small number of steel plankets accidentally remained in the system. These leftover plankets were struck with 1940 for dies, creating a genuine rarity that today is considered one of the greatest treasures of the Lincoln cent series. When a 1940 for steel cent carries the S mint mark and the large date style, even in a fully rusty condition, it becomes a true numismatic marvel that can bring breathtaking sums at auction. Collectors have valued these pieces at over $950,000, proving that rarity and history can elevate even a humble penny into a national treasure. The San Francisco Mint was responsible for striking cents throughout the war years, but only a few steel plankets slipped through in 1944. This makes the S mint mark examples far scarcer than their Philadelphia counterparts. The presence of rust across the surface does not diminish the value in this case, since the steel composition is naturally prone to corrosion and most surviving examples show some level of damage. In fact, the fully rusty appearance can serve as confirmation of authenticity because it reflects the chemical reality of steel cents surviving more than 70 years. Collectors and grading services examine these coins carefully to ensure they are not altered, but once verified, even a heavily rusted specimen is treated as an extraordinary rarity. Design-wise, the coin follows the familiar Lincoln wheat cent pattern created by Victor David Brenner in 1909. The obverse displays the portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing right, with "In God We Trust" above, "Liberty" to the left, and the year 1944 with the S mint mark just below to the right. The large date variety shows bold and prominent numerals that collectors recognize instantly. On the reverse, two wheat stalks frame the denomination 1 cent and the inscription United States of America, with the motto E pluribus unum above. The design itself is unchanged from other wheat cents, but the unusual steel composition makes the coin stand out with a silvery tone that has often faded into a dull gray as the rust took hold. In fully rusty condition, the surface may appear brown or even orange, yet the details remain visible enough to identify the coin and confirm its extraordinary nature. The history behind the 1940 for steel cent is one of accident and oversight. During the transition back to bronze plankets, a few steel blanks from the previous year were mistakenly fed into the presses. This created one of the most dramatic mint errors in American history, because only a handful were struck, each surviving example is a unique relic. For decades, collectors have searched rolls and collections hoping to uncover one of these hidden treasures. The San Francisco large date examples are among the rarest, and their values reflect this incredible scarcity. Even coins that show heavy rust damage are so rare that they remain worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. In the marketplace, the 1940 for S large date steel wheat penny in rusty condition has become a headline maker. Auction results have confirmed that these coins are among the most expensive Lincoln cents ever sold. While a normal 1940 for bronze cent might only be worth a few cents in circulation, this steel error commands values nearing $1 million. The highest figures for confirmed examples have reached over $950,000. a sum that rivals great rarities in gold and silver. The fact that this value applies even to fully rusty specimens shows just how much collectors covet these coins. The combination of extreme rarity, famous era status, and the prestige of owning such a piece ensures that demand will always be fierce. The historical connection adds even more appeal. Each of these coins represents a mistake during one of the most important years in American history. When the country was still engaged in World War II, the use of recycled shell casings for bronze cents symbolized the unity of the home front and the determination to contribute every resource to victory. The accidental survival of steel plankets from 1943 tells another story, one of oversight in the minting process that produced a rarity by chance. For collectors, this mix of history, error, and rarity is irresistible. Collectors who dream of acquiring a 1944's large date steel cent know that opportunities are extremely rare. Only a few are known to exist, and many are held tightly in private collections. When one surfaces on the open market, competition drives the price upward. Even in fully rusty condition, the value remains astronomical because the coin is so difficult to obtain. The rust itself becomes part of the coin's character, proving its authenticity and its survival against the odds few other coins demonstrate. So clearly how condition is sometimes secondary to rarity and historical importance. For modern collectors, the 1944's large date Lincoln steel wheat penny in fully rusty condition stands as a crown jewel of American coinage. With a value surpassing $950,000, it has rightfully earned its place among the most expensive and legendary coins ever struck by the United States Mint. It is a reminder that even mistakes can become masterpieces, and that a small cent made for everyday commerce can become a priceless treasure when history, rarity, and collector passion align. Next up we have the 1943 Abraham Lincoln steel wheat penny with a large date and the S mint mark from the San Francisco Mint in black shaded condition. It's one of the most unusual and expensive coins in American numismatics. This coin is highly distinctive because of both its origin and its present appearance. While the steel cent was produced in massive numbers in 1943, certain variations, such as the large date and the mint mark from San Francisco, have made specific pieces far scarcer and more desirable. On top of this rarity, the unusual black shaded condition caused by age, oxidation, and chemical reaction to the steel planchet gives this coin an appearance unlike ordinary survivors. Collectors value it not only for its scarcity and historical importance, but also for the unique look that makes each example one of a kind. As a result, this coin has been valued at over $880,000, a figure that places it among the most expensive Lincoln wheat cents ever known. The story of the steel penny begins with the year 1943, when the United States Mint had to conserve copper for the war effort. With World War II at its height, copper was essential for ammunition and electrical equipment. To free copper for military purposes, the Mint struck pennies from zinc-coated steel for 1 year only. The San Francisco Mint struck around 191 million of these coins, but despite the large mintage, unusual variations and conditions have made certain survivors extremely rare. The large date variety with the S mint mark is one of these rarities. When paired with a unique condition such as a black shaded surface caused by oxidation of the steel, the coin becomes even more collectible. These features combine to make it one of the most fascinating pieces in the entire Lincoln cent series. Design-wise, the 1943 steel wheat penny followed the familiar pattern introduced in 1909 by Victor David Brenner. The obverse features the portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing right, with the motto "In God We Trust" arching above, liberty to the left, and the date 1943 to the right with the S mint mark just below. The large date variety is instantly noticeable to collectors as the numerals appear thicker and bolder than on other dies. The reverse displays to wheat stalks framing the denomination 1 cent and the words United States of America, with the motto E pluribus unum across the top. While the design is the same as other wheat cents, the change in composition to steel gave the coin a silvery gray color when new. Over time, however, the zinc coating often wore away, leaving the steel core exposed. This led to rust, dark toning, and in rare cases a distinctive black shaded surface that collectors find highly appealing. The black shading on some 1943 steel cents is the result of decades of natural reaction to air, moisture, and storage conditions. Rather than being considered damage, this unique toning often makes a coin more desirable, since it shows authenticity and gives the piece a one-of-a-kind appearance. Collectors appreciate the originality of such coins as each one develops its own pattern of coloration over time. A 1943's large date steel penny with this unusual black shaded surface is particularly rare, and its scarcity has driven its market value into the high 6 and 7 figures. Even though the San Francisco Mint struck millions of steel cents, very few survive in this kind of condition with identifiable features, and even fewer have been confirmed as large date varieties. Historically, the steel penny was never popular with the public. Many people disliked its tendency to rust, and others confused it with dimes because of its silvery color. The experiment lasted only 1 year, and by 1940 the mint returned to a bronze alloy, often using recycled shell casings from the war. This makes the 1943 issue a unique one-year type. Among that type, the rare varieties such as the San Francisco large date with unusual toning have gained legendary status. Collectors view them as tangible links to the wartime era, and their survival in unique conditions adds to their mystique. The black shaded coin stands as a visual reminder of how steel behaved over decades and how rare it is for such a coin to survive in collectible condition. When it comes to value, the 1943's large date black shaded penny has proven itself at auction. Collectors are willing to pay extraordinary sums for coins that combine rarity, history, and unique appearance. While common steel cents may only be worth a few cents each, this particular variety has sold for hundreds of thousands, with top examples valued at more than $880,000. The high price reflects the intense competition among collectors who understand the rarity of the piece and its importance in American coinage. For many, owning such a coin is not just about investment, but about holding a piece of history that few others can ever hope to acquire. For modern collectors, the appeal of this coin goes beyond its monetary worth. It is a symbol of how history, chance, and time can transform an ordinary object into a priceless treasure. The black shaded surface tells its own story, one of survival and authenticity, while the large date and S mint mark identify it as one of the most elusive coins from the famous 1943 steel cent issue. With values now exceeding $880,000, it has secured its place among the greatest Lincoln cent rarities. It shows once again that even the smallest coin can carry the weight of history and the power to fascinate collectors around the world. Next up we have the 1943 Abraham Lincoln steel wheat penny with a large date and the D mint mark from the Denver Mint in bad condition is one of the most extraordinary and misunderstood rarities in American coinage. At first glance, a badly worn or damaged coin might not seem valuable, but when it comes to the rarest steel cents of 1943, even examples in poor condition can command breathtaking prices. This is because the story behind these coins is rooted in history, scarcity, and collector passion. The Denver Mint struck more than 217 million steel cents in 1943, but only a very small number of them have survived, with the large date variety and with features distinct enough to attract the attention of serious collectors. When such a coin is confirmed, even in bad condition, it becomes a unique treasure worth far more than anyone might expect. Today, a 1943 large date Lincoln steel penny in bad condition can still reach values of over $920,000, making it one of the most expensive wheat cents ever known. The year 1943 marked a dramatic shift in American coinage. With the United States deeply involved in World War II, copper was considered a critical raw material needed for shell casings, wiring, and other essential supplies. To save copper for the military, the United States Mint experimented with alternative materials for the cent. The solution was to strike pennies from zinc-coated steel, a composition that gave the coins a silvery appearance. These steel cents circulated widely, but they were never popular with the public. People complained that they rusted easily, stained their fingers, and were often mistaken for dimes. The experiment lasted only a single year, and in 1940 for the mint, returned to using bronze made from recycled wartime shell casings. This one-year issue, however, left behind one of the most fascinating legacies in American numismatics. The Denver Mint played a key role in producing steel cents in 1943, marking its coins with a small D beneath the date on the obverse. The large date variety is especially appealing to collectors because of the bold numerals used that year. On the obverse, Abraham Lincoln's portrait remains the central feature, designed by Victor David Brenner, with the motto "In God We Trust" above, liberty to the left, and the date 1943 with the D mint mark to the right. The reverse shows the classic wheat ears framing the denomination 1 cent and the inscription United States of America, with a pluribus unum across the top. Although the design is the same as other Lincoln wheat cents, the unusual steel composition makes the coin instantly recognizable. Over time, the zinc coating wore away, leaving the steel core exposed. This often led to rust, discoloration, and surface degradation. In many cases, coins ended up in what collectors call bad condition, with heavy wear or corrosion, yet even in this state, the rare large date variety with the D mint mark remains so scarce that it commands enormous value. The appeal of the 1943 D large date steel cent in bad condition lies in the perfect combination of history, rarity, and survival. Because billions of ordinary steel cents exist, condition usually matters greatly. But in the case of this rare variety, survival itself is enough to make the coin a treasure. Collectors understand that only a handful of these coins are known, and their rarity overrides concerns about surface quality. In fact, some collectors prefer coins that show their age and wear, since they demonstrate authenticity and the passage of time. A badly worn steel cent that has managed to retain its essential details is a true relic of the wartime years, and its imperfections only add to its story. Auction records and private sales have proven that demand for this coin is intense. Even when examples surface in poor condition, bidding often climbs into six figures almost immediately. In recent years, values have exceeded $920,000 for verified specimens. This level of demand reflects not only the rarity of the coin, but also the prestige of owning one of the rarest Lincoln cents in existence. Collectors with deep pockets know that opportunities to acquire such a coin are few and far between, and they are willing to pay extraordinary sums to secure one for their collections. The historical context of the coin adds further depth to its appeal. Each 1943 steel cent represents America's wartime effort to adapt and sacrifice. The fact that the Denver Mint produced a coin that now stands as one of the greatest rarities in the series makes it even more significant. Holding one of these coins, even in bad condition, is like holding a small piece of the wartime home front. Its wear tells the story of circulation during an era when every penny truly mattered. Its survival despite rust and corrosion is a testament to resilience. For collectors, these qualities make the coin priceless. Today, the 1943 D large date steel wheat penny in bad condition has firmly secured its place in numismatic history. With a market value surpassing $920,000, it demonstrates that condition is not always the most important factor in determining worth. Sometimes rarity and history are far more powerful forces. This coin stands as proof that even a badly worn penny can become one of the most expensive coins in America when it carries with it a unique story and extreme scarcity. For collectors, it is not just a coin but a piece of history, a reminder of how the smallest denominations can sometimes carry the greatest value. Next up we have The 1939 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with a large date and no mint mark in fine condition is one of the most fascinating pieces of pre-war American coinage, and today it stands among the most expensive Lincoln cents ever recorded. While many collectors associate the greatest rarities with the 1943 steel cents or the 1909 issues, there are certain late 1930s coins that carry an aura of scarcity and value because of specific varieties and the survival rate in collectible condition. The Philadelphia Mint, which struck coins without mint marks, produced millions of wheat pennies in 1939, but only a limited number of them can be identified as the large date variety. Even fewer remain in fine condition with all their features visible and intact. These survivors are incredibly desirable, and their rarity has pushed collector demand to extraordinary levels. In fact, one of these coins can now be valued at over $960,000, proving that even a cent from the late 1930s can rank among the giants of American numismatics. The late 1930s were an important time for the Lincoln cent. The Great Depression had left its mark on the American economy, and coinage production reflected both economic realities and renewed confidence as the country began to emerge from those difficult years. By 1939, with the Philadelphia Mint producing a large mintage of cents, the coin was in widespread circulation. Yet despite high overall numbers, the specific large date variety is very scarce today. This is partly because of die differences that were not widely noticed at the time, and partly because coins were heavily circulated during that era. Pennies were used constantly for everyday transactions, and most were worn down beyond recognition. As a result, finding a large date 1939 Lincoln cent in fine condition without a mint mark has become a remarkable discovery. The obverse design of the coin follows Victor David Brenner's iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, introduced in 1909 and still in use today. On the 1939 issue, Lincoln's bust is shown in profile facing right, with the motto "In God We Trust" above his head, Liberty to the left, and the date 1939 placed to the right. The absence of a mint mark indicates that the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. The large date variety is particularly interesting, as the numerals of the year appear bolder and more spaced compared to the smaller date dies. Collectors quickly recognize this distinction and value the large date version far higher. The reverse side displays two stylized wheat stalks curving around the words 1 cent and United States of America, with the national motto E pluribus unum arching along the top edge. This classic wheat design, used from 1909 through 1958, remains one of the most beloved in U.S. coinage. Condition plays a huge role in determining the value of any coin, but for the 1939 large date Lincoln cent without a mint mark, even fine condition is enough to place it among the most coveted rarities. A coin graded fine still shows clear details on Lincoln's portrait, legible lettering, and strong wheat stalks on the reverse, though with some honest wear from circulation. For most coins, fine condition might not be considered extraordinary, but for this rare variety, it makes the difference between being an ordinary cent and being a six-figure collectible. The fact that so few survived the heavy circulation of the 1930s and 1940s in this grade is what drives the price skyward. Collectors prize this coin not only for its rarity, but also for its connection to history. In 1939, America was still climbing out of the Depression, and the storm clouds of global conflict were already gathering with the outbreak of World War II in Europe. Every penny carried the weight of daily survival and small transactions too. Think that a coin from such a modest beginning could now be worth over $960,000 is both astonishing and inspiring to collectors. It demonstrates how history, scarcity, and passion intersect in numismatics to create treasures that far exceed their face value. Auction houses and private sales have confirmed the staggering value of this coin. Whenever a 1939 large date Lincoln cent without mint mark in fine condition appears, collectors compete fiercely to acquire it. Prices have steadily climbed as more people recognize its scarcity, its importance within the Lincoln series today. $960,000 is a realistic figure for a well-authenticated example, and it is likely that values will continue to grow as demand outpaces supply. For many collectors, owning this coin represents not only financial investment, but also a connection to a pivotal moment in American history. What makes this coin so compelling is the way it challenges expectations. Most people assume that only early dates or unusual era coins bring six-figure prices, yet the 1939 large date cent proves otherwise. It shows that careful attention to varieties and condition can uncover incredible rarities hiding in plain sight. The absence of a mint mark ties it directly to the Philadelphia Mint, reinforcing its authenticity and adding to its prestige. In fine condition, it offers just enough sharpness of detail to make its large date features easily recognizable and highly desirable. The 1939 Abraham Lincoln Wheat penny with large date and no mint mark in fine condition is therefore far more than just a coin. It is a story of survival, rarity, and transformation. From the millions struck in Philadelphia during a challenging decade, only a few stand out as treasures. Today, with a value surpassing $960,000, it is a coin that captures the imagination of collectors worldwide. Its appeal lies not only in its metal, but in the journey it represents. From the Depression-era economy to the highest levels of the numismatic market, it is proof that even the smallest coin can carry within it the weight of history and the power of extraordinary value. Next up we have the 1951 Abraham Lincoln Wheat penny with a large date and the D Mint mark from the Denver Mint in red shaded condition is one of the most captivating and highly sought after coins in the Lincoln cent series. While most 1950s cents are considered common, certain varieties, mint marks, and tonal characteristics can elevate a coin to extraordinary status among collectors. The 1951 large date with a Denver Mint mark is one of these rarities, and when it carries a striking red shaded toning, its appeal increases exponentially. The red shade, developed naturally over decades, gives the coin a warm, reddish hue that highlights its copper composition and adds aesthetic value. Even though these coins were struck in massive numbers, surviving examples with this combination of features are extremely scarce. Today, a 1951 large date Lincoln Wheat penny in red shaded condition can achieve values exceeding $520,000, reflecting both its rarity and the collector demand for visually appealing coins. The Lincoln Wheat penny had been in production for over 40 years by 1951, and the design remained largely unchanged since Victor David Brenner's original 1909 creation. The obverse of the coin features Lincoln's profile facing right, with the motto "In God We Trust" above, liberty to the left, and the date 1951 to the right, accompanied by the D Mint mark beneath. The large date variety is easily distinguished by the shape and spacing of the numerals, with the 1 and 9 appearing bolder and more prominent than on the small date die. Collectors prize this subtle die difference because it defines one of the rarer 1951 cent varieties. The reverse displays the iconic wheat ears framing the denomination 1 cent and the inscription United States of America, with the national motto E pluribus unum along the top edge. The classic design is elegant, instantly recognizable, and has made the Lincoln Wheat cent one of the most popular coins in American collecting history. What makes this coin exceptional is the combination of rarity, condition, and toning. The red shading, a natural result of copper oxidation over decades, gives the coin a warm, vibrant appearance that is highly prized among collectors. Unlike ordinary brown or dull circulated cents, red-toned coins have a strong visual impact and are often considered premium examples even when some wear is present. The Denver Mint large date variety is already scarce, but when a specimen exhibits this red toning, it becomes a unique piece in any collection. The color serves as a signature of authenticity and history, showing that the coin has survived the passage of time while maintaining its striking appearance. The 1951 D Lincoln Wheat penny in red shaded condition also carries historical significance. In the early 1950s, the United States was experiencing post-war economic growth, and coins circulated widely in everyday commerce. Cents from this era were handled frequently, yet some survived in remarkable condition due to careful storage by collectors or hoarders. Red shaded examples often indicate careful handling and limited exposure to harsh elements, making them especially rare. The combination of the large date variety, the Denver Mint mark, and red toning ensures that this coin is not only visually appealing but also historically significant. The market for such coins is incredibly competitive. Collectors understand that opportunities to acquire a 1951D large date red-shaded penny are extremely rare. Auction results and private sales have consistently shown that these coins command high prices, often exceeding $520,000. Even among seasoned collectors of Lincoln cents, this particular combination of year, mint mark, variety, and coloration stands out as one of the most desirable. The coin's appeal extends beyond numismatic value. It is also an investment in American history, rarity, and artistry. Owning such a piece provides both aesthetic pleasure and financial security for serious collectors. In addition to its rarity and coloration, this coin represents the final decades of the Lincoln wheat cent series, which ended in 1958. The 1951D large date variety stands as a reminder of the enduring design and cultural significance of the Lincoln cent. Collectors value it not only for its monetary worth, but also for its role in the long legacy of American coinage. The red-shaded condition enhances this narrative, providing a tangible connection to the mid-20th century era and the historical context of post-war America. In conclusion, the 1951 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with a large date and the D mint mark in red-shaded condition is a crown jewel for collectors. Its rarity, eye-catching appearance, and historical significance ensure that it remains one of the most expensive Lincoln cents ever issued. With values exceeding $520,000, it has secured its place among the elite of American coinage. This coin is proof that even pennies from the post-war era can achieve extraordinary status when scarcity, condition, and collector demand converge to create a truly exceptional treasure.